in association with nerdaddiction.com. Be sure to check out Marvel Addicts on Facebook.
Oh, hey, look, it's Tarzan.
You suck. Hey guys, now you can follow me on Facebook. Just go to facebook.com/UltraMaximusReviews. Hello YouTube, Ultra Maximus back with another retro review, and today we're going to rewind it all the way back to 1995 with the Toy Biz Fang costume Wolverine. Now, this is a very different look for Wolverine. Some people may not know what this is, actually. But, what was it, back in the 90s? Late 80s, maybe early 90s. I can't remember the comics. Wolverine actually wore this costume. And it's one of my favorite variants. I used to call it the Savage Land Wolverine, but it's not really. It's the Fang costume. And if you don't know who Fang is, he was a minor villain in the Marvel Universe. I want to say he ran around with a lot of the space groups. And Wolverine ended up killing, there's actually a couple versions of Fang, but Wolverine ended up killing Fang and taking his costume, which was very strange. And he only had this costume for like 2 or 3 comic book issues, and they ended up switching him back to the other costumes. But it's got the signature yellow and brown, and I want to say that's where that color scheme for Wolverine came from in his traditional costume that's got the brown and the yellow, but that may be wrong. If you know for sure, leave a comment down below. It's just been so many years, I can't remember, but I want to say that's why that costume changed to the color. Now, I got this figure at my local flea market, and it's in great shape. In fact, I would say it's in perfect shape. The paint is phenomenal. It came with all the weapons, so they're all still pegged onto the piece. And I can't tell if those are gardening tools, if they are tools to work on the car, or if they're weapons. They just look kind of strange. And then he's got these additional weapons that it also came with that looks very Klingon to me. Which, I find it very weird he's got all these blades, considering he has blades on his hands. Built in, so very, very strange. I'm not going to take these off and unpeg them. I'm just going to leave them there. The other weird thing, he only has one hand that he can actually peg weapons into. It's this hand. It's got the 5mm peg hole in it. So that's kind of strange. Now, this Wolverine, as far as articulation, he's got a play gimmick. His head moves back and forth very little. His arms do move up. But it's kind of strange because you've got the play gimmick where you squeeze his legs and his arms flail out like that. So it's kind of strange on getting them to move, and they don't have any articulation in the elbow or in the wrists. That's pretty much it. The legs do kick up that far, and then they don't kick back at all. They have a single joint. You can't even see that because it's blurry. So they have a single jointed knee right here, and they do kick up about that far. They don't kick back at all, and well, that's pretty much it for the articulation on this guy. Relatively simple, and it's got a play gimmick. Taking a closer look at the figure itself, I love this costume. It's got a very jungle-esque costume going on. He's got the yellow and brown. He's got this bone necklace that kind of hangs around the top of his outfit there. He's got the bones on his waist and on his forearms. Sculpted very well. I like the look of the head. It looks like the comics. He could have a little snarlier growl, but I like how the paint apps on the bones go all the way around the figure. Seems like in today's figures we would only get half of that painted, but it's very consistent paint job all the way around, and that mustard yellow looks really good with that kind of faded brown. Definitely loving the look of this sculpt. So looking at the midsection of the figure, again, he's got the bones around his belt there. I'm definitely digging that. We got the bones around the forearms. The brown and yellow motif continues. Now he's got these claws, and these are kind of older figures, so the claws don't look as good because, well, they've got the big plastic bar up by the wrists. But, you know, hey, it was 1995, and it was actually pretty decent back then. And I do have to say, unlike the modern figures, the blades don't warp, so there is that. And he's got his little taut Hugh Jackman-esque Wolverine bootay, which the ladies love. But yeah, the sculpt on the muscles, very nice, very good. It's got the silver little pin in the knee, but hey, remember, it was 1995. And finally, take a look at the legs of the figure. Again, we get the bones around the top of the boot. Definitely digging that. He's got the brown shoes, or brown boots, I guess they are, with the brown stripe going down the inside of the pant leg and the yellow on the outside. Definitely liking this design. I think it was very, very different, but it might have been a little too complex for them to draw, which is why they ditched it after like 2 or 3 issues. For comparison, here we have the Fang costume Wolverine with another favorite Toy Biz Wolverine of mine, the Weapon X Wolverine. And these are definitely my favorite 2 Wolverines in the entire Toy Biz line. They just look phenomenal. They look like they're straight out of the comics, and I'm super happy to have both of them up on the shelf. So is the Fang costume Wolverine something that you want in your Marvel collection? Well, I'm going to say yes, because you can find this guy relatively cheap. I think I paid about $3 for him loose at the flea market. You could probably find this guy anywhere from $5 to $15 in box brand new, which is cool. I mean, that's a decent price for an old Toy Biz figure. We don't have a modern version of this Wolverine. I would love to see that done at some point. You could probably use the sculpt work for something else. Like something out of a Black Panther or a Craven line or something. But it's definitely very cool, very iconic. I remember this from the covers where he did get that costume, but it didn't last long, which was really, really unfortunate. But it's different, it's fresh, and there's something about it I like. It's not going to be for everybody, but if you are a Wolverine completist, I think this is something that you're going to want. So there he is, all the way back from 1995. It's Wolverine in the Fang costume by Toy Biz.
Hey guys, thanks for watching. If you like this video, thumbs it up. If you hate this video, thumbs it down. To watch more Ultra Maximus, click on the links to the right. Don't forget to subscribe and share, like us on Facebook, and look for more videos in the future.